Talk to me, people. So I keep hearing all these things about social justice warriors and women's rights and all of those, and boy, this is a touchy topic here. You know what I mean? Let me get me a little roll on going on here because I feel like I'm gonna go in a little bit. This thing's stirring up online right now. Everybody's sexually abused and everybody's sexually harassed, and people are digging up things from 20 years ago and 30 years ago, and boy, I mean, like, there's no accountability for your own bad choices anymore. I mean, I'm just saying, jeez Christ. But anyhow, let's get into it. What do you think? Do women like to be sexually objectified? Talk to me, people. What do you think? Do women like to be sexually objectified? Um, this show's topic is objectifying women. Let me know what you think. We're gonna go in. Yeah, so objectifying women. Um, I guess my first question on that would be, do most women, do most men objectify women? I would have to give that a resounding yes. We do. I know you're gonna have a lot of you social justice warriors out there. You're gonna have you dudes that, for lack of better words, let's just say you didn't get at the ladies like that. But for the few of us out there that got at the ladies like that, that were popular with the ladies, yes, we do objectify women. I think most guys, I think, in my opinion, most guys, we do it all day. We do it every day. We do it to people, to women without even trying. But that doesn't mean that you're an animal. That doesn't mean that anything that you think, you just act out on it. You know what I mean? But yes, I do think men objectify women. But we're kind of led into that. We'll touch on that a little further in while I say that. But we're kind of led into that. Not just that we're hardwired to do that because, you know, that's how we pick our mates. That's how we pick our mates. And that leads into financial objectification. That's a new word I just learned, which is basically the reverse that women do to men. We do it for this physical and the sexual. They do it for the financial and the support, the backup, I guess, you know. It makes sense. A woman wants to make sure that she's going to find the best suitable mate for offsprings. I get it. But I wonder if it's run amok a little bit, maybe even in both directions. It's run amok a little bit, objectifying each other. Men objectifying women, women financially objectifying men. It might have ran deep in both directions. But here on this show, for this topic, I'm not really looking to find an answer. We're just going to talk about it a little bit, get some creative juices flowing on it, and see what points we come to with it. So I do think most men objectify women. This is probably a show I'm gonna do another point of view and have women come in and talk. Have a couple women come in, and I'll do a part two or part three of it, and get a woman's point of view on that. But I know that I do that. As a man, I do that. I got certain days when I wake up, my body's just on go. You know what I mean? And pretty much every woman that I see walk in front of me that's of age, because I'm not a creepazoid. Every woman I see that walk in front of me is like a potential target for my lustful thoughts. I don't know how many other men do that or don't do that or can control it or don't control it or whatever. But I know, speaking for me, this is a great big trigger. I have certain days I get up and it's like my hormones just on go. You know what I mean? My body's on go. I want it. I want it. And yes, my wife might not be able to, or my girlfriend might not be able to cover my needs for that moment. And that doesn't lead to cheating. That's a whole other show topic in itself. Doesn't always lead to cheating. I'm just talking about how, in particular, my body works. And I've talked with my brothers, I've talked with some of my friends. So I think it would be safe to assume a lot of the people I know, a lot of guys' bodies work the same way. And hey, there's always people that relate to you, right? There's enough people on this planet that pretty much no matter what you say, there's going to be someone that can relate to you with that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, yeah, I got days when I wake up and my body's on go, man. My hormones is crazy and I objectify away. I won't lie, I won't front on it. It's the truth. I have those days. I get up and I objectify away. From the neighbor's wife to the bus lady. Doesn't really matter. Depending on how hard my hormones is hitting me, it could even roll into the old ladies. I mean, I have a secret fetish for older women. I like attractive older women. There, I said it. It's out there. Not ashamed. Some older women is hot. I also have a fetish for some fat women. Like, I just think Monique is gorgeous. I also have a fetish for certain combinations of women. Saying combinations is a friendly way of saying I don't want to say fat or white or black or anything, but I'm going to say like Roseanne Barr, Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, I like those kind of older women. They're a little older than me, but I think they're both pretty attractive. And I know you're probably like white, black guy, Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr is no hottie, but she's a hottie to me. I thought Roseanne Barr was cute. I always thought Roseanne Barr was cute, but that's just me. I'm a little weird out there like that. But anyhow, Roseanne, if you're listening, click, click. You're gorgeous. I do think most men objectify women, though, on a serious note. I think we do it without knowing. I dare to say, without Googling anything right now, I suspect that it might be biological. It might be science working on us, the way we're built and meant to go. I'm just going to assume that because I'd like to at least think that, so that some of the more vulgar thoughts that I think I can excuse myself out of having these very vulgar thoughts. I guess I could kind of excuse myself for having these thoughts. But I am not a rapist. I don't have any thoughts or inklings on raping or forcing or anything like that. So for me, I like to think I'm psychologically sound. So for me, things like that would not be an issue. But yes, I do in particular sexually objectify women. I have a fetish for women, period. I just like women. I like the female form. I don't want to describe it because for my female listeners out there, me describing it, other guys know what I'm talking about when I say that. Describing it for the ladies out there might be a little disruptive to the frame of mind that you're in right now, and I don't want to lose your attention while we're talking here. But on to the next question now. Don't mind me, y'all. I'm rolling up, making sure I got a little puffy in me. Do women objectify themselves? In my opinion, yes, women do objectify themselves. I think women are the first to wear something skimpy, especially if there's a man in the vicinity that they're interested in. Women seem to have, in my opinion, from my experiences, women have made up in their mind what they think men are, what they think men like. So therefore, like, I'll speak about the black community because I'm black. Our women believe that guys don't like the kinky hair and the regular girls, and that's not necessarily true. To be quite honest, when it comes wifey time or married time, actually those girls are the girls that guys would like to. They're the women that guys would like to have as their wives. You dig me? We would love to find the very shapely, very sexy, buxom females that don't know that they're that attractive, I guess, or they don't place that high of a value on things like that. I think when you're looking for a girlfriend, if you're looking for a girlfriend or a wife, excuse me, I'm rolling up. Most guys tend to look for that kind of a woman, and they're not easy to find. To find an attractive woman that's sexy and sensual and she doesn't place stock in the shape of her body is not easy to find. So because of that, I realized that yes, women objectify themselves. I think women sexually objectify each other and themselves more than men do. I honestly do. I think women have an idea of who they are or what they should be. And I've been present to hear women in many different situations, more than once. I've been present to hear women say things along the line of, "You'll never catch a man with titties like that." Or my ass is not like them other girls' ass. My ass is not all round. Or this is the ass that y'all guys like. Well, that's objectifying yourself. That's objectifying yourself. You know, it's funny, in today's time, people can utilize that to their advantage. Now it's sexual objectification when a guy that you're not interested in tries to talk to you or pursues you. And I'm going to do another show about pursuing and stalking soon, too, because that's a very interesting topic in itself. But I find it interesting that women will, if you're not interested in a guy, then he's sexually objectifying you. Some women, not all women, because some women just take it as, "Oh, you like me and I don't like her," and that's great. But it seems to be a moving trend now that if a guy tries to talk to you and you're not interested in him, now he's sexually objectified you. Well, he sexually objectified you just to talk to you, to be attracted to you. And chances are you sexually objectified yourself just getting up and getting dressed this morning to come out. Now, I know we're going to have some of those blue-haired, overweight, saggy pants, chained to the wallet, butch lesbian chicks out there that's going to tell me and post how wrong I am for saying what I'm saying. Frankly put, this is not meant for y'all because you are not sexy on the average basis of which men would even try to sexually objectify you. Okay? There are a lot of hot lesbian chicks. Hell, I've even met a few hot butch lesbian chicks, or I guess the hard guy females. I don't know what the correct terminology is. I'm not trying to offend anybody. Yeah, I've met a few of those that were hot, and I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought what I was saying here because nowadays when you talk, you got to be careful of what you're saying. You don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to come too hard. You don't want to be offensive to nobody. And I'm trying to carefully say what I'm saying because I want views. I don't want the dislikes. I want the views. I want the likes. But anyhow, I do think women sexually objectify themselves often. I think from the time most women wake up in the morning to the time they go to sleep, they spend a lot of time on how they look, what they're wearing, who they're with, who they're talking to, the type of men that they date, period. All of these things, I would think that these things could all fall under, I guess I'll be coining a new term, sexual objectification. Yeah, I guess I just coined a new term. I'm not sure I ever heard that term. But yeah, I think women do that to themselves. I think women pick and choose what they wear, who they go there with. And I think that if a woman is shapely and she knows that she's shapely, I think that she's even more prone to pick things that more accentuates her shapes. Things that more accentuate her shapes or some of her best attributes. For example, if a woman is very busty, she got big titties. I'm pretty sure that she's going to find a lot of things that accentuate that because we see that often in overweight women. Now, I know that overweight sisters are going to be out there saying, oh, that's not true. When you're big and you have these big titties, there's not much you can do to hide it. I get that. But come on, ladies. You know when you put on a shirt and that shirt is pulling the buttons away a little bit till it gives it that little about the bust out of the shirt look. You know when you put on a shirt where 90% of your titty is out and you got double D titties, even when you're fat. You know when you're wearing a top and that top is cut around the cleavage of your garment, that you're objectifying, you're sexually objectifying yourself. You're putting yourself out there. You're not worried about how a man meets you and he should get to talk to you and look into your eyes. No, you're objectifying yourself. You are putting yourself out there that way. You're putting yourself out there for men to look at. And that brings me to another question. That wasn't even part of my thing, but that brings me to why is it that when men look, you have a group of women that'll give you a nasty look for looking? I mean, I didn't tell you what to wear. You understand? I met you out here tonight. I didn't tell you what to wear. You put that on and came out here. I love Hennessy. I did a show about loving Hennessy. I had to cut in and say that. I did a show about loving Hennessy like I was promoting Hennessy's products. But yeah, I do think that there's a great deal of women that sexually objectify themselves. And they're offended when men objectify them. I guess maybe because we can be a little bit more vulgar. But the interesting thing about that is I got the chance. I lived a certain amount of time in the strip club, in the strip industry. And I got to see women with women. And women are more hardcore with objectifying each other along that line. I don't understand. Okay, when a woman is gay, she'll take sexual objectification from another woman. Why? Because she's a woman and that makes it okay? So if a woman walks up to you and approaches you the same way I would have approached you, but because she's gay, it makes it okay. The math on that is kind of crazy. I don't hear anybody speaking out and talking about how some women do that too. Because lesbian women, let's face it, they move like guys. They act like guys. They're men in all sense of the word. And they don't come soft at pussy. When they're trying to get some pussy, they don't come soft. They come the same way we do, grabby, touchy, talky. I think that y'all women just use the excuse, I think personally, some gay women, there's a majority of gay women that have an issue with straight men. For whatever reason, I had one time in my life had a gay woman tell me that a lot of gay women suffer from their daddies or their uncles or even their brothers touching and feeling on them. And that's something that a lot of them either repress or just don't address. And when you say it, they'll lean on it and say you're trying to use it as an excuse on why I think you're a dickhead. You know, if you were being a dickhead and you're talking to them about this topic and they're not feeling it. I might have lost you. I hope I didn't. I'm trying to get my little session together here. Trying to get all my feel goods in me. I got a little bit of Hennessy left. I'm going to drink that, and I'm going to talk to y'all, and we're going to get here. But yeah, I do think that some women sexually objectify themselves. I think that they do it every day in the way that they dress, the clothes that they wear, even the way that they talk. I'm privy all the time. Well, I'm not privy is the wrong word to use. Sorry. I notice all the time when I'm out. I see women when they need things and they have to ask a man. There's a majority of women that have a way that they deal with a man. Their voice pitch changes. The way their body language is, it changes. And women know that they can do that to men, and they do that. And I'm not complaining against that. That's a woman's power. That's your prowess. You should be able to use that, and you should. But I do notice that. So when I hear a lot of this talk about sexual objectification, I don't know. I'm a little leery about all of it. I'm just a little leery about all of it. My next thought on it is, do women like to be sexually objectified? Do women like to be objectified? I read something that said that women do when they're attracted to the guy that's objectifying. That's something that I brushed on earlier in the same conversation. I think women do like to be sexually objectified. I think every woman wants to be the object of desire when she walks into a room. I think on a whole, every woman would like to be the object of desire when she walks into a room. Even just giving her the opportunity to turn it all down. Just to walk around and go, no, I would never. You're not to my caliber. You know how women, pretty women like to do. All women, I think, like to have that. They would all love to have that. If we kept a party and we invited 99 women, and as each 99 came in, we showed them how beautiful they were, how precious and special they were, not a single one of them would turn that down. Not a single one. Well, I don't like that kind of excitement. I'm cool. I'm strong in my. No, every single woman would take that. Now, when you come to men, if you were to do the same thing and have 199 men come through and you tell the guys how great they are and how wonderful and how powerful and whatever, successful, you wouldn't get all 99 of those men to take that. You're going to get a small percentage that's going to come in like, hey, I don't need all of this. What's all of this excitement? What's all of this hype? That's just the nature of men. We're not as, dare I say it, self-absorbed as women. The more attractive a woman is the more self-absorbed they tend to be. Now, they do practice traits that make them a little nicer than most attractive women. But let's face it, attractive women, y'all mean. Y'all mean. And I'm not a very unattractive guy, so I don't have a problem getting women. That's not the point that I'm trying to make here. And I know it's going to be some of y'all out here that's going to be like, oh, this guy must be an ugly motherfucker. No, that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is pretty women are mean. They are mean. I think amongst women, the nicest women tend to be small, very slim women, short women, and overweight big women. They tend to be the nicest of the bunch. Everything else in between, you girls, if you have potential to draw a certain percentage of men, you girls get mean. You get mean. I had a woman say to me one time, you try walking around and everywhere you go, there's some guy looking down your shirt, trying to look up your skirt, trying to holler at you and call to you. It gets annoying. I had another woman tell me it's distracting. It's offensive. It reaches a point where you're like, damn, you just feel naked. I often ask, well, what did you have on? What do you usually wear? And they don't want to admit it. But these women, like most women, have on something that's revealing, sexualized, something like that, something shapely, and they're offended that men look. And I don't understand the math in that. Somewhere along the line, someone tricked some of these women into thinking that men just have automatic blinders, like the world is just going to bend to you because you're attractive or you're sexy. I don't get it. Men are going to look. Worse when you wear clothes. Look at Instagram. Most of the attractive women you see on Instagram, their clothes are so tight that their vagina is printed out on clothes, on jeans, where their vagina should not be printed out. These are regular denim jeans. So how tight are those jeans to be cutting all up in the coochie, sucking out all the juices all day? That pussy dry as shit. I'm just saying. It's just an observation. Dig me? If you see a dude that make you a little moist, your thongs and them tight asses, everything, all the, eh, I'm just saying. It's just an observation that I made. Just something I paid attention to, and I kind of wondered about, and I never really asked any women, but I guess I'll talk about it and say it here. So yeah, I do think women like to be objectified. I think all women like to be objectified, even the butch ones. It just depends on who is objectifying them. If it's someone that's of their interest, they're cool with it. They like it. They even provoke it and invite it. Yes, and I dare any woman, anybody out there to challenge me on that point, and I will prove the point every single time. Every single time, it never fails. Yes, women do like to be objectified. Um, what does it? I wrote, what does it mean? I wrote, what does it mean to objectify women? I meant to write, what does it mean to objectify women? What does it mean to sexually objectify women? Okay, I'm gonna put it on dummy mode for the young guys, the inexperienced guys, just guys that's just not in the know. It's not even dummy mode. I called it dummy mode. I'm just teasing. Don't be offended. But let's give a definition of it. You know what? Let's go here. Let's look up sexual objectification on Google and see what it means. Now, I originally thought, hold on, let me open up my, yeah, now personally, I thought objectifying a woman is seeing an attractive woman or just any woman and calling her out of her name, wolf calling as they used to call it. Hey girl, trying to talk to her and she's not interested and you still are a little pushy with it. I thought that may be objectifying women. Let me look it up. Okay, objectification. Interesting. It says in social philosophy, objectification treating is the act of treating a person or sometimes an animal as an object or a thing. It is part of dehumanization. I'm having a little trouble saying that word. Whew, the Hennessy's kicking in. I'm feeling a little warm. Dehumanization, the act of disavowing the humanity of others. Right? So I guess I was basically right on what I thought it was. But the interesting thing about it is I searched up the word objectification. I didn't even put in objectification of women or sexual objectification. But what I noticed is the images that come up with it are all of women. So what that tells me is automatically that tells me that America has searched Google, and Google is a search engine. It does what's it called? Forgot the correct terminology, but it basically pays attention to how many things it's asked. You know what I'm saying? And it relays information as you ask back to you according to what it's been asked, especially recently. So I'm seeing objectification come up, and all these things are pictures of women. So men don't seem to be addressed in the idea of sexual objectification. This is something else that women have found that they can keep to themselves, that we are only we only commit objectification. We could never be subject to objectification, and that is crappy. I think that's crappy because there is a percentage of the women out there that will sexually objectify a man. Not only sexually objectify a man, but financially objectify a man. Let me type in financial objectification and see if a lot of pictures of men come up, or if women have locked that in too. Hold on a second. Financial objectification. Okay. Uh oh wow. So if I in Google when I put it in, and yes, this may just be subject to my search history, but when I put it in, I typed in financial objectification. I was under the understanding that it was something for guys. That was something that guys would be subject to. The first thing I see here is sexual objectification divided into an individual, and it goes on. That's something on Reddit. The next thing that's up here on the Google search is women are objectified as decoration, men are objectified as, and I'm going to click on that and see how far that goes. And the next thing after that is what is objectification? Straight dope message board. And then the last thing here, forfeit on the screen for me, it says, does financial objectification by women deserve a conversation? Wow. Wow. I'm not going to, my first thought of seeing that is, what do you mean does it deserve a conversation? Are we men not deserving of any kind of consideration? But it could also mean, does it mean that it's, this quote could mean, is this something that we should be paying attention to and talking? So I'll have to read more first before I place my own point of view on it. But we're going to start with the first one. Women are objectified as decoration. Men are objectified as tools. Is there any truth to this statement? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. As a man, I speak up on that. Yes, we objectify as tools. Women always have something for a man to do. If they know you're attracted to them and they're not into you, they'll use you that way. You'll be driving her home, driving her to the market, running and doing her errands. Yes, women will use you like a tool. She'll turn you into a tool. You know, and you got to know how to pause it up and stop it. A woman will turn you into a tool if you let her. So yes, that's absolutely true. Yes, there's truth to that. That wasn't even one of my topic, but it was interesting that I found that online. There's a whole lot of reading here. I'm not going to read all of that. There's a whole lot of, I think it made the point that I was kind of seeking to make right here. Does financial objectification by women deserve a conversation just like that of sexual objectification by men? Yes, it does. In my humble opinion, yes. It's written by a man, Jacob Field, just an ordinary man writing on Quora. Quora is my hobby. That's who it is, Jacob Field. Thank you very much. Yes, it deserves a conversation. I recently attended something to empower young women as a video man. I'm a filmographer. And while I was filming this event, I thought to myself, it's interesting that they never touch on this topic. Through the whole event, the women are presented as victims. You're told to be stronger, but you should identify with being a victim first. They don't talk about women putting themselves in precarious situations. I'm not saying that forced anything is right. A man should not force you to anything. But it doesn't help if you show up at somebody's motel room at 2:30 and you just met him yesterday. Things like that. And these things happen regularly. Women do these things. What do you think you're going there for this time of morning? You're putting yourself at risk. There's this belief from a great percentage of women in America that they can fight men. That's another show. I'm going to do a topic about that, how America views its women. But there's a great percentage of women that is under this belief through the media, I guess, that they can fight off a man attacking them. Honey, child, boo-boo, that's not true. The skinniest, most frail men, we're built different from you. Our muscle fiber is different from yours. A man can overpower you. Yes, there are some women that will fight and it's not going down. But for the most part, though, do you want to find out if you're that woman? Why not just be safe? Why not just avoid bullshit? Why put yourself in situations where you can be hurt? Why even leave your house saying, I wish a nigga would? Why not just avoid that? Why even take that chance? But that's just my opinion as a guy. I mean, when men leave out, we try to avoid dangerous situations. So, you know, you should see my face. I just got the face right now, you know, the emoji face right now. But yes, that was interesting to find that online. So that's interesting what it means to objectify a woman. Why do some men objectify women? I think some men objectify women because as men, we're brought up to know and understand that objectifying a woman, honestly speaking, I don't care how vulgar you call it, what you say it is, what you might consider it to be, it is part of being a man. Objectifying women. When you're a young man, one of the first things you learn about is naked women when you discover girls. and your body starts to tingle. You want to see them naked, and it's natural. Nature teaches you that. Your friends don't teach you to objectify women. Your friends is not telling you want to see a woman naked. Your body is. Your body is telling you that. So yes, you start to objectify the closest women to you, other girls that you know, maybe even family members. Because as you just start finding out about sex, you learn the rights and wrongs as it's going along. So you know you're not going to do any incest. Don't get me wrong. I'm not toting the wrong thing here. But what I'm saying is the point still remains that I think that's how most young boys discovered masturbation, things like that. Those are all drivers to objectifying women in that sense. You walk outside and you see women that objectify themselves, and therefore you play into that. That's considered a strong masculine trait when a man can objectify a lot of women, and they're okay with it. Usually they're okay with it because you're either a very good looking guy or you're a very wealthy guy. So women are okay with being objectified under those two pretenses. So yes, we are taught to sexually objectify, even by our mothers, our sisters, our aunts. We're taught that. It's around us in everything we do and we see. We're taught that. And now there's a percentage of women standing up saying that we should not. Well, if men don't sexually objectify you in any form, how do you find a mate? Not everybody's looking to get married. Some women just want to fuck. What happens then? If the whole world followed not objectifying women, what happens then? Do you not stunt the growth of women, period? How comes these women that's talking about sexual objectification don't just tell women, be safer, use your head? Be safer, use your head, learn some things about men so you will understand a little bit more about sexual objectification. Maybe if you understood the male brain more, instead of trying to turn most American men into women, maybe if American women took the time to learn a man's brain more, you'd understand how sexual objectification plays out in a man's mind. And you wouldn't be so offended by it. It's the highest form of compliment for a man when a man sees a woman, and he might not say it to you, but he bumps his friend and he goes, hey, I would love to fuck her. As far as mating goes, that's like a top-notch compliment. And especially, you would think I would say especially if you're sexy. No, especially if you are usually more unattractive, on the unattractive side. And a man can find something sexually attractive about you. Yes, you should welcome sexual objectification. I dare to say almost up until the line of it being insulting. Not physically abusive, not rape, but almost to the line of it being insulting, because there's some things to be said about a man and masculinity and insults. We often insult each other only when we really like each other. Guys walk up on each other like, hey, what's up, numbnuts? What's up, you black ass? We're like that. Guys are like that. Why ask men to change? Women have this thing where they're forcing men to change, or they want men to change. Even socially, men must change. But we must understand and accept y'all as is. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's a double standard, and it's not right. That's bullshit. It's a double standard and it's not right, and it should stop. So yes, I do think why some men objectify women is because we're taught that by our sisters, mothers, and sometimes daughters and aunts and grandmothers. It's just a way of life, and I think some people should put up and shut up about it. It's just my opinion. Might be a little hardcore. Leave a comment if you don't agree. Show me a point of view. Nothing insulting, please. I'm looking for intelligent responses. So leave a comment. Do women use sexual objectification to their advantage? Hell fucking goddamn hell yeah. Women do. All the time. All the time. I'm someone that works out of the clubs and the bars. So I come across many women often, of all kinds of ages, of all sexual preferences, of all shapes, colors, and sizes. Okay? And all of them, maybe it's because of the scene that I'm in. It could be because I'm working in the club scene. But all of them use sexual objectification to their benefit. When they go to the bar, a lot of them are looking for a guy to buy them a drink. When a guy approaches them on the floor, when they're coming in. Listen, there's so many ways that I might not be addressing and hitting that on right now, but yes, I do think that women use sexual objectification to their advantage. I do think so. Women know that the more attractive they are is the more yeses they can get from different men to do some of the damnedest things. So yes, I do think women use it to their benefit and do benefit from it on a regular basis. Isn't it sexual objectification that leaves a man to say, let me open the door for this woman as she's coming in? I could argue that point, could I not? And it would be a fair assumption, would it not be? It's sexual objectification. Why doesn't that man see you coming and look at it and goes, oh no, she's a strong, independent woman. She doesn't need me to hold the door and dehumanize her. And there are some women like that that'll tell you, I don't need any man to hold any doors or anything for me. So let's just say the world turned into most men view things that way. How would that work? How would that work for you ladies? How about when you get stopped for a traffic ticket, if the officers looked at you like, nope, this is a strong, independent woman. She's subject to all of the same fines and dispositions that everyone else is, and just treats you the same. There's a thing in this world where pretty people, attractive people are treated differently. It's true. Your attractiveness is a commodity. How beautiful you are, how sexy you are is a commodity for both men and women. More so for females, I would think, though. But hey, that's just my opinion. So, to the conclusion of this show, objectifying women. I do think women benefit from it. I think that this is a frivolous bullshit topic that somebody somehow got the chance to stand on their soapbox and address, and we could have really just lived without this one. That's just my point of view on it. I think I'm going to do a part 2 on this too, because I want a woman's point of view on it. I want to hear what the ladies think about it. I should have set it up for some calls to come in, but I want to hear what the ladies think about it. I want to hear their point of view on it. And we're going to ask all these same questions again and see what women have to say about it. But yes, at the first glance, this is my view of how these things break down. We're gonna call it quits at that one. It was a pretty straightforward short show. It was just something that was on my mind. I wanted to address it. I'm floating on the internet a lot, and I come across this all the time. It even goes into the thing with Bill Cosby. I just didn't mention Bill Cosby because everybody's been talking about Bill Cosby. The fucker deserves what he got. I don't even see it from the angle that everybody else sees it from, and that's a topic from another show. And on that note, this is Sess Video. Please click that like button, leave comments and quotes and suggestions. Click that bell icon. The bell icon lets you know every time I upload a video. Like on it so YouTube will know that this was a good podcast. You like this podcast. You want to see more of this podcast. And thank you for joining me. I love my peoples out there that's listening. Tune into more shows coming up. This is Sess Videoz. Again, like and subscribe, and I'm out.